giving up safety.
Patchwork happened this past weekend in North Carolina, and it was the biggest North American tournament to happen over this past weekend. Players like Mutace, Cosmos, MK Big Boss, and MBD, among many others, traveled to North Carolina to battle it out against one another. This tournament is an interesting case to look at because it was simultaneously expected and unexpected in its final placings. What am I talking about? Well, you'll find out over the course of this video, but for now, let's just say that only half of our top 8 finishers today were actually top 8 seeds. Kind of. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. First things first, we're going to be going over losers 8s, that being Mutace versus Toast and Rocky versus Peabnut. Now, devotees of my channel might be able to tell that I'm very excited that Rocky made top 8 at Patchwork, but let's actually go over Mutace versus Toast first. Toast is a player you may know from their top 8 finish at CEO 2022, and they came into the event as the 21st seed. Already, we're getting into players outplacing their seeds by a long shot. Toast started off the weekend by getting through pools easily, only dropping one game to Z3 on the way out. But here, right out of pools, Toast had to go up against Omega, known Joker main and the 12th seed of the tournament. This set would go down to a nail-biting Game 5.
The great nair coming out, just going to linger for a little bit. Toast, you're scared right now. That is the Arsene, that Arsene's almost gone though. You just cannot mess up for the next 2 seconds.
Oh, up air doesn't land, and Arsene goes away as well. And now Toast with the read on the roll! And that's going to be the up smash, and Toast is going to take it Game 5. Last stock, last hit.
Toast defeated Omega in a 3-2. Moving on, where Toast unfortunately suffered a loss against Send 3-0 in winners quarterfinals of Top 64. From here, Toast made a loser's run, filled with some very impressive names. First, Toast 3-0'd Lol Yoshi, a Mii Gunner player who had their own great run this weekend, and took MK Big Boss to a Game 5. Then Toast got 2 impressive wins back-to-back, 3-1ing both Regulo and Moxie in order to make top 8 loser's side, to go up against Mutace. Mutace, on the other hand, is a player you're all familiar with, and likely surprised to see in losers this early. Or maybe you're not surprised to see Mute in losers this early, depending on how optimistic you are about Mutace's recent placements, especially at regionals. Mutace came into the event as the first seed, and started off the weekend by sweeping pools without dropping a game. Next, Mutace went up in winners quarters of Top 64, their first set out of pools, against Ling. Now, Ling, for context, is a Peach main, who I primarily know as the sole reason that Light has Peach matchup experience for days. But Ling is a known hater of the Peach Ditto, and so opted to go their secondary, King DDD. Now, if you're a normal person not obsessed with the Smash competitive scene, you might think that's fine. Hell, if anything, that makes this easier for Mutace, since DDD is a secondary and also one of the worst characters in the game. But those of you who aren't normal, just like me, would know that Mutace has a losing record against DDD in recent times, losing to D3 Will at Gateway Legends in what was that tournament's biggest upset. But that was a DDD main, and this is just a secondary. Would Mutace be able to conquer their bracket demon, or would King DDD notch another victory on his crown? Well, dear viewers, go ahead and take a look. In the end, Mutace lost to Ling 3-0, the first seed losing against the 17th seed's secondary DDD, and dropping down into losers incredibly early. Mutace now had to make a massive run to make it into top 8, starting with 3-0ing Shu, who you may remember from my Low Tide City 2023 video. Mutace then got 2 very impressive wins back-to-back, defeating Cosmos and MK Big Boss, both in Game 5s, and both of these sets in reverse 3-0s in order to make top 8. If that's not impressive, I don't know what is. Now is a good time to mention that both of these sets were actually streamed on the secondary stream for Patchwork. You may ask, why didn't I include them then? Because the secondary stream for Patchwork was a quad stream, meaning it ran 4 sets at the same time. Now, don't get me wrong, I love quad streams. I think they're great to get more people on stream so that they can VOD review or even just see themselves on the big screen, so to speak. But I hope you can all understand why quad streams are a bit impractical for me when I'm trying to highlight a set with a clip or a montage. I'll be including some of the quad stream footage in the background of this video, especially in the next segment. However, if you want to see these sets that I'm bringing up in full, the link to both the main streams VOD and the side streams VOD is in the description. Please go give it a watch if you're interested, and shout out to the Patchwork TOs. Alright, back to losers 8ths. Toast versus Mutace went down in losers side top 8 to see who would be able to continue their run.
All right, but let's get into it. It's going to be Toast. We talked a little bit about Mutace, but let's talk about Toast. Or really, let's talk about Youngling.
Has been a pilot of Youngling for a while now, and just shows that this character got the button to compete with any of the top 4 hides easily.
Exactly, and now holding the hopes of the other Youngling mate, Kobe, on his back here. Toast, the sole survivor in top 8. Mutace on a warpath, definitely starting off strong.
Yeah, and there's some projectile characters. I think we saw maybe one total this entire stop. It felt so awful for Toast. None
Stitch into dot eyes. Ah, this is not a good start.
Link, the pressure, the adaptation is so far. Yeah, Link is just
Right now, that side. And I think that Mutace is taking advantage of that as well because he's crossing up mid-fair. He's actually able to push that shield and go on the other side where Toast has to go for that up. You don't have anything else. And right now, another snipe is going to be enough to make game 1 mute. As long as he continues to play an aerial-based game, those kinds of options will be viable for Toast.
X2 getting eaten alive by Toast. Trying to go ahead and get the nair. Yeah, actually fresh enough to kill, and that's what...
Okay, yep, exactly. The short hop floats have been absolutely killer for Mutace. You never let your opponent know your next move, and right now you're keeping him on his toes. Gonna have to tech down the platform. A brief moment of reprieve, but you're still back off stage. We're back to square one. We've still got Ankle right there. We're getting into game number 1
to apply Toast, stuck in the corner, and it looks like we might have the bomb, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Too late on the bomb.
Not with the percent differential.
It looked like had either the read or the reaction, either one, but yep, pull the trigger, and now we've got the bomb. Oh no. C-drop just to cover it. There is the weak check. One of these snipes might pan out. We got the jump. Now we've got a bomb, but this is gonna hurt.
In the end, Mutace defeated Toast 3-0, moving on in the bracket and eliminating Toast at 7. Now we pivot over to the other side of losers 8s. Peabnut versus Rocky Balboa. I'm not biased, by the way. Just thought I'd reiterate that. And in fact, I am so not biased. We'll be going over Peabnut first. Peabnut came into the event as either the 8th or the 10th seed. That's a weird statement, I know, but the Start GG and the preliminary seeding are different, and I'm just gonna throw both numbers up here because if I don't, someone's gonna think that I'm wrong. Peabnut started off the weekend by making it out of pools in 2 sets, no games dropped, before going into top 64. Here, though, Peabnut would lose to WebJP, who is quickly becoming one of America's hidden bosses, in a close Game 5 set. The Game 5s weren't done, though, as Peabnut then defeated MPG in a similarly close set, and I am just heartbroken that the Mega Man Ditto was not put on mainstream. Kind of a throw, to be honest. From here, Peabnut kept up their losers run, notably defeating Lucky 3-1 and Kobe 3-2. Peabnut had one more set, however, to make top 8. A Game 5 set against Send to make top 8, which I would have made a montage of, but, you know, quad stream. Peabnut would win the set in the end, though, meaning that Peabnut went into loser side top 8 after their insane losers run, and now had to fight Rocky Balboa. Speaking of Rocky, Rocky came into the event as a 24th seed, having one of the best SPRs of the tournament. Rocky started off by making it through pools, dropping a few games, but having no decisive sets. Rocky carried that streak into top 64, defeating Was Pops Wrong for this 3-1, and very notably defeating WebJP in a close Game 5. It was here, though, that Rocky went up against the Mutace Slayer themselves, Ling, in winners quarterfinals. Unfortunately for the whole of mankind, Rocky lost this set 3-1, dropping down into losers, where Rocky had to fight Goblin in order to make top 8. This is actually a run back from Gateway Legends, where the two of them fought and Goblin took the set 3-1. This run back would go quite differently, however, but unfortunately was put on the quad stream. Rocky would win the set in a close Game 5, defeating Goblin and moving into top 8, loser side. Here, Rocky and Peabnut would battle it out in the Mega Man vs. Pac-Man, the battle of man v man.
Get going.
Yep, and all right. We've still got, okay, it looks like we're getting into game number 1 at last. We've
this apple, often a killing option right here, but look at the percent differential. Rocky able to clear it off with that these items. Trying Trying to go and get that metal blade, but and the setup just interrupted by Rocky with the back air. Full stage control, trying to go ahead and get the bell going, but now the weak hit of that up tilt.
These metal blades going right through and then instantly getting shielded by Rocky just because they have the extension as they pass through the hydrant. It's just textbook. We get that. That's going to be a nice little setup. Knowing his angles, that's a Pac-Man player at his finest.
I mean, normally when he knows it's going to kill, I'm just wondering if perhaps in this match he doesn't have the outer shield locked. And speaking of options,
time to go. Oh, but we get the orange snipe, and that's just enough to hopefully a kill option. Not going to do it here. This is where he's starting to run out of options. He does get that weirdly angled trampoline. He's able to get back, but this is looking pretty dire. I don't know. He's not on the verge of taking this game. Yep.
On the verge now. We're completely finished. Yeah, exactly. Usually we see Pac. Oh my, I had to take a minute to pause right there. I thought Rocky was dead off the top yet again.
They can't get that spike, but we get the trump back air. That's going to be a little bit too high for the forward smash. This time he's right on. He's going to get the good clank as well, but no, gets up right into the forward smash. Peabnut, that's the game.
Air dodge from Rocky. He's just not getting caught with these strong blows that Peabnut's looking for.
I thought we were going to see a key to try to break the shield there. Once we saw
immediately the up air into the up smash. Great option.
Got it. Wiggling, holding the shield up to avoid a poke there with the down air. Beautiful stuff from PB. Looking for the trump. He gets it!
These last minute trumps, the Peabnut.
Unfortunately, Rocky would lose to Peabnut 3-1, with Peabnut moving on in bracket and Rocky being eliminated at 7th, forever cementing a newfound hatred for Mega Man within my soul. Okay, I'm just kidding. Jokes aside, Rocky did amazingly, getting 7th as the 24th seed, once again making me very proud of my home region of Kansas City, and hey, anytime I get to spread more KC propaganda to my audience is a good day. Before we stop by losers quarterfinals to catch up with Mudace and Peabnut's runs, we have to go over to winners semis first, Ling versus Shiny Mark and MVD versus Andric. Let's start with Ling and Shiny Mark, as we've covered a good part of Ling's run already. Ling, as we've mentioned before, came into the event as the 17th seed, and started off the weekend by getting through pools with only one game dropped to Mysterica on the way out. From here, Ling got an impressive 3-0 win over Loaf, before getting two even more impressive wins, with Ling's aforementioned 3-0 over Mudace and 3-1 over Rocky in order to make top 8 winner's side. Shiny Mark, on the other hand, came into the event as the 4th seed, and started off the weekend by getting through pools with only one dropped game to Danny. From there, Shiny Mark 3-0'd Vendetta impressively, before going up in winners quarterfinals against Send.
Angle on the quick attack. We're in a last hit situation for Send pretty much, depending on what that hit is.
Oh, the parry and the dash attack, it's staled though. It's not quite enough. And doesn't go for the back air, the drag down. Oh, he's dead.
That was great.
Goes out with a whimper instead of a bang, but
In the end, Shiny Mark won that Game 5, moving into winner semifinals versus Ling.
Yeah, the kick club. We're going to go in
Once we use the side B into the up B to recover underneath the stage.
Right now, I mean, Ling is doing his damnedest to try to find coverage on these quick attacks with the turn of angles. Right now, it doesn't even matter. It's the backer that's looking for some setup or anything, or maybe a protection. But right now, it offers nothing. Ling is going right at it.
The up B, but trying to get that second hitbox, and it just did not come out. Dash back again, threatening to kill, but oh, he actually carried up onto stage with a moment resets. Trying to apply some field pressure right there with Shiny Mark, but so far not willing to abandon that defensive option. And look at the damage already. The turn up toss up to cover and to basically reset the situation. But again, use that aggressive up B back to the stage, and Ling is ready with the punish. Mr. Saturn on deck, so now perhaps we'll see some item gameplay that could make Shiny Mark question whether he calls out shield, but no, great pressure off stage now.
Oh, the footstool. Okay, interesting. I mean, Ling just mashed it. Has to come out of that one. It's going to be another bit of difference here, but yeah, we're going to punish that. We're going to get some good damage, but Shiny Mark now dragged down into the down smash. That's a nice way to finish it here on Town into the tail. Its best move, very good. So you need as many of those mix-ups like down air to kind of refresh everything that you want. We're looking for some big call-outs. I appreciate the attempts, but Ling, practice, still going to get caught by the
We don't get the drag down, though.
He doesn't get the right side. He's looking for the grab, it looked like, but maybe it might have been a misinput. I'm not sure. He is going to get that dash attack. That's enough here. He gets kind of like the desperation kill, like the
projectile, and then connecting with Pikachu. Now the reversal there with the up B, so good opportunity for some damage there. But we can't get the spike with the suicide. The up B a little bit too. That dodge and weave gameplay.
right? Forcing Ling to be the one approaching the jump from ledge. Caught again. He's not going to fall for that again, but he's going to get caught with the aerial option. He's still alive here. 172. It's an angle down F tilt, and we've got a game 5.
Any kind of a confirm here off stage. Trying to go for the nair, but not going to cover it perfectly. So Shiny Mark.
You cannot miss that in game 5. You've gotten every single one up until now.
And if I hit the wrong button, the combos could be killer.
Okay, he's going a little ham. He's looking for the thunder. It might be a little risky. We are going to go for it, and it's going to be a trade, but it works in Ling's favor. He's going to get it and secures the game 5 win.
Unfortunately for Shiny Mark, they would lose Game 5 to Ling, dropping down into losers' quarters, where Shiny Mark had to go up against, ironically enough, Mudace. But we'll get to that in a second. We have another semi-set to go over, MVD versus Andric. Andric came into the event as the 6th seed and started off the weekend by making it through pools, notably defeating Gremlin and Vivi on the way out. Andric then defeated Big Jigs in a 3-2 set, the ending of which you can watch in this YouTube short that I uploaded yesterday. Hey, if you don't watch my YouTube shorts, by the way, you really should. You can find them on my Twitter and TikTok too, both linked in the description. Shameless plugs out of the way, Andric then defeated Moxie 3-0 in order to make top 8 winner's side, where Andric had to face MVD. Speaking of which, MVD came into the event as the 7th seed, making it through pools in 2 sets, before going up in top 64 and defeating Regalo, Goblin, and MK Big Boss, all in 3-1s, with all 3 of these sets being very impressive wins. It was now time for MVD and Andric to throw down in what would prove to be an insanely hyped set.
Or else I'm going to find a way out. And then if I get popped up with the grenade and you're popped up with me, who knows what's going to happen.
I'm also going to be curious if we can see Andric try to get something going on this vulnerable snake up B. Usually in here we go high and it's very difficult to intercept, but Falcon, this is a character that can hunt you down no matter what you're trying to fastball up there. Yeah, exactly.
I respect it, but hey, either way, we're going to follow it up double roll, looking like Andric is trying to stay on top of MVD, and MVD gets something. A big Hail Mary like that spike would be very volatile and put this back into potentially his favor, but we're still going to get the big read.
Another explosion, plenty of damage here. Not able to get that opening, and the up tilt will blame
the grab anyway. We see into the Nikita, and yep, that follows around the loop-de-loop. Great precision.
Offensive options cracking MVD's ironclad defense. Okay, one option cracking MVD's ironclad defense.
Just kidding. Now the cracks are starting to show. We'll have to see if MVD, does the M stand for mortal or not? Andric is going to find out here with this edge guard. He's got a potential to make a difference here.
This is all of a sudden not just an even game, but it's Andric's advantage against this
hard. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, this is a character that loves to capitalize off mistakes, and sometimes he can great patience right here, and then the falling aerial disjointed enough to beat that option.
Wow, gets past the up tilt, the drift, allowing him to avoid that. He gets past the cross-up, back air!
This advantage thing continues here, and we are still at full stock lead for MVP. We need to see something blank your eye.
Okay, this is the last moment. Andric, with all this rage, can he make the impossible possible? Can MVD actually close this out, or is he going to choke in the last second? I don't think so.
Yeah, he cannot.
In the end, MVD would win in a Game 5, sending Andric down into losers, with MVD moving up into winners finals against Ling. But we'll get to that in a minute. For now, let's go over to losers bracket, shall we? Since we were just talking about him, let's take a look at Andric versus Peabnut first. And since we've fully covered both of these players already, let's get right into it.
This matchup could be particularly good if he just plays his similar game.
Reactions after the fact.
Yep, cannot go for something. Even though that down tilt can poke, we are going to set
on that down air.
Okay, and still getting back. Andric is going to get parried on that nair. Got to be careful here because that is one of the best landing options you've got. You can't overcommit to that kind of stuff or else you're going to get set up.
Yep, small battlefields of note, top platform here, so that means that we're going to see perhaps a little bit less up air pressure from both characters, but really, I mean, we're always going to see up air pressure from Falcon. So this, speaking of pressure, we got the down air pressure at the damage differential here on stock 2.
Okay, instant short hop nair. We go off stage, run into the roll in. Peabnut very quick to get back to center stage, but Andric not gonna be far behind. 159, full range here. Never mind.
Yeah, that range didn't go ahead and play too much of a factor in that one there, nerd. But you don't have to do so errantly. You can just go ahead and take a moment to consider your options. You can watch your opponent and wait for them to toss out a projectile, but trying to get the double dip, we got the triple 3 in a row, and Peabnut that stuff.
Nice, and the great spaced fair. I mean, it's just been so much pressure in the air. And again, Andric desperate for one
in that position.
Yeah, it's the F tilt and the jab both not working here for Andric. He's going to get the delay. He's going to get around that hard knuckle, and now we're avoiding it until we get right up into the down smash. Now that can actually...
In the end, Peabnut defeated Andric in a dominant 3-0, moving on into losers semis and eliminating Andric at 5th. And lucky for us, our next set is Shiny Mark versus Mutace, who we've also both covered already. I will add, though, that it's either quite funny or quite sad that Shiny Mark had to go up against Mutace after losing Game 5 to Ling. But would this set be nearly as close as that one? Let's find out, dear viewers.
Losers quarterfinal. It's 5th, and Mutace does a lot of good stuff.
And using float also to avoid the projectiles, just to make it so that Mutace is more comfortable playing a defensive game plan.
Almost getting the snipe there as well with the turnip.
Using that float into the cancel immediately and backing up high. Mutace is definitely one of the players that uses that tool to... Oh, what happened there? Looks like Shiny Mark just kind of done with that spot.
Maybe he just... or anything else.
And we're seeing kind of just a more conservative game plan from both players. The percentage lead just about evaporating from Mutace. Does manage to catch the up B with a forward air, though. So resetting the situation, the turnip catch too. The back air wall is out, and again, the aggressive attempt to come back from edge, not make it so hard to get back unscathed. Flash attack covers the wall out on platform, and then the up air covers the aggressive up B option. Shiny Mark he's trying so many different options that like we're not seeing Shiny go back to the same tool, and Mutace just ready.
Yep, now we've got a Stitch Face, add insult to injury right in the face! That's gonna hurt. You've got another 2-1 lead now from Mutace. This is there, and now we've got some combos. This is looking a little bit better. Are you gonna get the big read off stage? Can you actually get it?
Oh, cannot get the down air. That was definitely a moment where you could have seen the match.
Oh, no!
Instead of Stitch, thrown out the nair into Stitch. What can you do in that situation?
Mutace's RNG has been just destructive in this top 8. I mean...
In the end, Shiny Mark lost 3-0 to Mutace, being eliminated at 5th, and allowing Mutace to move on in bracket. Shiny Mark went on after this to call Peach RNG cool. Hey, remember when we all wanted to ban Hero when he came out because we thought that RNG had no place in a competitive setting? Oh, those were the days. From here, we're going to cover sets in the order that they were streamed, and thus our next set to look at is Winners Finals, MVD versus Ling. While many people expected a Peach player to sweep the bracket, most people didn't expect that it'd be Ling, not Mutace, here close to the apex of the tournament. MVD had gone through a gauntlet of some of this tourney's top seeds, and now went up against Ling in Winners Finals.
Characters that can bust out of the combos very quickly, like Snake and Snake, not just a character that can break out of your combos, but all
what Ling wants to do is want to jump over to Snake, and then hold on for a second. Now take that thought and pause it for a split second. Trying to go ahead and use that nair to just open Snake up, but again, using the back air as out of shield options against the up tilt, like that's rough when Snake just can't start using that move in neutral.
Okay, in the delay, we get that air dodge. MVD now forced into another one of those neutral air dodge fastballs that I was worried about Ling doing a great job of catching with the nair, but it's not a big punish, so we might have to see what happens next. Great tech, immaculate tech.
I mean, I got hit with that right here.
I would have died. Everyone would have died.
Chair. Yeah, exactly.
You at home, you would have died.
And then the
crouch itself gives you still getting a dash attack. It's again that zone breaking tool that a zoner like Snake has. Rebound off the backboard, and that's going to be it. Oh, wait!
He had a stock advantage. It's okay, yeah.
The only issue is MVD is going for a lot of these long-lasting moves, right? Like, he's looking for, like, Nair. He's looking for a couple other things.
He's looking for a Nikita offstage, catching MVD, committing to that defensive option.
And still trying to use the iframes on that down throw to try to beat out. Oh, no, it's the footstool? What in the hell? He gets it. Ling able to bring it back from the depths. MVD playing like Call of Duty, going from like full stand to prone to full stand to prone to up tilt to full stand to prone. Like he's just looking for any kind of high-low switch ups to get something on Ling.
Okay, a little bit of self-harm right there with the double grenade into the up smash, but still claiming that stock early with the back air at 181. Ling's combo game, phenomenal. His neutral game, phenomenal. But his killing has been so difficult.
This is the point where
up tilt instead tries to grab.
Couldn't turn around in time, I don't think. Right now, that was a little bit unsafe spacing for Ling, but he gets away with it. Manages to take the stock. 154 breath from Snake should work. It's going to do it.
Hey, up tilt.
Last moment, so throwing out that hitbox.
Good forward air there. I think that caught the double jump, didn't it?
Possibly.
This is going to be a really awkward spot for MVD, and the crown comes out for a 3-1 victory. Ling.
In the end, Ling defeated MVD in Winners Finals, moving on into Grand's Winners side, and sending MVD down into Losers Finals, where MVD would have to wait on Losers Semis to happen before they played again. Speaking of which, Losers Semis contained Peabnut and Mutace. Both of these players lost incredibly early on, and both players had made an insane Losers run to make it where they are now. But they could only stay on opposite sides of the bracket for so long. This was the intersection, and they had both gone as far as they could without facing one another.
That's when Mega Man can thrive in this match. That's when this character can peak. The problem is, Mutace is very tenacious, not necessarily like he has just a tool removed from the arsenal for turn 1.
That's right. Peabnut crouching under projectiles. It might be his own wet blade,
What a
but
call out by the forward smash,
we are
though.
going to get that. That's crazy. So good stuff to Peabnut taking that stock. And now, even though he is down at 100%, he might be able to find something. We just got to be quick to reset here on the ledge.
And the turn up that time, actually putting Peab in a really awkward spot. Has to use the air dodge, but the down air only has one hit. He does accident, but instead, again, the check right there with that neutral air. Just one, let him know I don't want you running forward. Was that a poke?
It was.
The Crash Bomber set up the back air so a little bit low, too. We are getting people rush assisted back air. Mutace not ready with the DI in that situation.
He's been really good catching those his anti-airs on mute.
That Crash Bomb, like that was out of this. Oh my God, the movement again. Just, I'm gonna go ahead and float at you up here. And then the down tilt 3 times in a row for 100 plus damage.
Yeah, what did I say? 60, 80? Talk about 100 in an instant. 15 seconds, and we're almost in a near perfect stock. And Peabnut forced into everything. The air dodge up. We are actually going to catch that. Peabnut taking advantage of the light floaty nature of Peach here.
I was curious if that was gonna play a bigger role here because the character is so floaty in the air. That up air can carry you so far.
Well, I mean, he's been waiting 3 games to see it come to fruition, right? So now it's happening, but instantly Mutace is going to be hanging out next to that bait tool.
Just please drop your shield again.
Oh my
Peabnut,
God.
he ran forward trying to mute.
Okay, it's looking like a lot of good shield pressure if it works as well. The Metal Blade, the Crash Bomber, as well as these good aerials, still getting caught by that up-thrown turnip, and yet again, Mutace is being like, all right, I'll let him tire himself out, and then it's nap time.
Well, nap time might be coming here because Peab potentially on his last stock, but gets the up tilt. Kind of a solid hitbox, but instead, Mute about to put up the wall again to the back here. The Crash Bomb actually allows Peabnut the potential to get up for free, but instead, Mute another back air, and that one seals the deal. Under 100% on Mutace on his last stock, and it felt like Peabnut starting to claw his way back.
In the end, Mutace defeated Peabnut 3-1, eliminating Peabnut at 4th. Mutace got to continue their losers run with only one obstacle in their way from the run back versus Ling. That obstacle was MVD.
This losers finals, this losers finals, MVD put here by Ling, but Mutace has great microspacing. I'm not surprised, and he has great knowledge of all things set play. So, man, this is going to be very difficult for MVD if he's playing defensive.
I desperately want to see a shield break right here. Instead, Mr. Saturn turning on his master. Mute
From could lead to something if Mutace is right in his position.
It doesn't actually look like he had enough armor to break the cypher.
Oh
What?
my God!
Was that the turn up from the depths?
Okay, still looking for something. He tried to go for it. I respect it. He wanted it. I mean,
That's one of those like
I'm missing MVD, but he's not gonna let that happen. He knows when he's able to do that safely, and he gets that anti-air with the up tilt very nicely spaced here on the platform.
he's only sub 102. That is definitely going to be a big factor here. Like MVD definitely
Dancing around this side of the stage so effectively. MVD is just standing still, hoping that maybe Mute gets a little bit too close for counter.
or on the wow. Okay, at the edge of the screen.
I feel like that might not have been.
Okay, so perhaps an errant unforced missed tech situation may very well cost MVD here.
Nice!
Get the C4 track though. The dash
on the platform.
and Mute still unable to land a kill. Does
Okay.
get the up B as soon as I say it.
Yeah.
And that's true.
That was smart for Nude. You probably heard the visual, the audio cue, I would imagine, of listen.
We're seeing a lot more verticality all of a sudden out of Mute. Basically just saying, like, if you're going to go and try to set up 2 grenades, I'm going to wait until one of them is about to explode and then you trap off. But Nikita will cover the stand for the rest. Looks like he wants to use explosives. He stops off easily and just barely missing with the back here.
I mean, Mute is reading what MVD wants. He's just not finding the execution. It's a miss through an air dodge, or it's the shielding out of that Another
stitch?
Are you joking? What is going on here? This whole system has been thrown into disarray. We've got the up tilt 174. Can MVD control this before it becomes unwinnable?
I mean, full rage snake is nothing to count out in these situations. Plus, look at the minefield that Mute Ace has to navigate just to land a single hit.
Yes, you see that, but again, what did I say? Dash attack on shield, not gonna help you grab the turnip, but at what cost? Can you get back the high recovery? You have to avoid that turnip.
Oh, gets the neutral air out of disadvantage, and Mute Ace in a nail biter. MVD very nearly clawed his way back.
In the end, Mute Ace defeated MVD in losers finals, going into grands for the run back versus Ling. It's quite interesting that our grand finals is between two Peach mains, but we're only going to see the Peach Ditto once in this entire set. No. Instead, grand finals of Patchwork was a battle of secondaries.
Grand finals. Let's get it on, everybody. This is the moment that you've all been waiting for.
Finally get the run back. The script is complete. I would
Great spacing that you know Mute Ace is practice.
starting to use that nair a lot more to trade with Gordo. And speaking of trades, that Ling is starting to swing, and I am getting terrified every time you top me. Great use of the turnip nail, but Ling does get caught with that fair, and despite Ling, but unable to get a strong hit to connect there. The back hit of that uppercut is not quite going to kill.
I want to see where's the grab from Link?
Yeah, we haven't really seen any kind of grab yet.
Like right
Or a preemptive aerial. But this is where D3 can be terrifying. Using that back air in the perfect positions. What is neutral? But look at the movement for Mute.
Okay, and right up in Ling's face as well. He is bold. He's going to be going for it here. And now that Ling is so stuck here on ledge, are we going to get a trade? Who wins? It's actually Mute Ace!
Mute can't go off stage to challenge you, and unless Mute has a special turn up, you're going to be able to armor through it. The back air going to get
Center stage, he can still get one of those things like a bear. And now he's going to
The
get a trade.
Gordo.
It actually works! The Gordo kills! Good, can't get the spike here. The armor beats out.
And then underneath the platform is D3, but still getting clipped by that Palu down air. Disjointed enough to threaten these tall carries.
At least the bread and butters, the Palu down throw back air, and now we get the pop-up as well. Mute Ace, so we've got to recognize that, yeah, the inhale is like the only thing out there, not sitting on ledge, but actually going off stage with these risks to try to secure it. He's still not getting rewarded.
Finally,
Actually squeaks right by. Just kidding, we covered the second one.
yeah, the float actually.
Run up, or float up rather, right up next to Link.
Yeah, this ain't cardio day. We're doing mostly flow pressure so far. We haven't actually seen Ling get those kind of aggressive options off stage though, so finally able to get that with the turn up into the fair, but the fresh back here, fresh off the
Ling now forced into a bunch of back air stuff, but it's getting unsafer and unsafer. He's looking for it again. We cannot find that. It's the up tilt. He gets it on the delay. We're down to last stock.
Ling is just doing fade back time and time again, but he's making no progress at actually gaining space.
Uh-oh, Mute Ace actually gives up a little bit too much control, and now Ling looking to land center stage, or at least close to it. Has to go for something here. We're gonna get
fair?
it. It's the fair. It's gonna be 26 Rising Mute Ace taking it in Patchwork.
After a game.
In the end, Mute Ace managed to reset the bracket into Game 5, and then defeating Ling 3-1, becoming your champion of Patchwork from loser's side. This bracket was full of unpredictability and predictability. Mute Ace, as the first seed, won the tournament, exactly as predicted. But Mute Ace not only won it from loser's side with an incredible loser's run journey that was no doubt massively challenging, but also won grand finals using Palutena for half of it, a character that Mute Ace had tried to completely drop before because of a lack of faith in the character. Looking at the top 8, it was filled with some predictability. Saying that Andric, MVD, and Shiny Mark would do well at this tourney was a very safe bet for most. But this top 8 was filled with unpredictability too, as no one ever thought Ling, Toast, Peabnut, or Rocky would make it as far as they did. I mean, I personally knew Rocky would sweep, but most of you didn't. Also, want to hear something cool? There isn't a single DLC character in this entirety of the top 8. It's kind of insane that over the past few weeks, I've been continually talking about how the meta is shifting back towards a more fundamentals-based meta, and many people have called me crazy for that, but I mean, just look at High Res and Patchwork. Look at people like Tim Prater and Zefty, who have been making waves with low tiers. Look at CEO, where DeBuzz won over a Kazuya with Rosalina, for God's sake. That being said, I bet some of the more sadistic among you are missing our DLC friends in Fighters Pass 1 and 2. Well, I have quite the surprise for those sadistic viewers in the audience, because on Thursday we will be making a video covering not a tournament, but solely focusing on one player in specific. Who is it? Well, I suppose you're just going to have to tune in Thursday to find out. That's going to be it for today's video. Real quick, hit subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss Thursday's video or any of my other uploads. Just a reminder that I'm going live at 2 p.m. CST today, playing some Smash Bros. Right here on the channel. Real quick, shout out to my patrons Seth Lasser and FireSkull333, and my YouTube members Storm Troiper, Loco Soko, and Mattoon. If you'd like to support me using either of these methods, links are in the description. Until Thursday, I've been Mr. Mice, and thank you all so much for watching.